conference season has begun. Welcome to it, because it doesn't matter what your record is. A hard fought by William & Mary for sure tonight, and this is the way it's going to be. So, I'll start off with that for sure.
Coach, obviously Thursday night was a little different. Obviously Norfolk State was a different opponent from a different conference, and the team maybe played a little bit of a better game, would you say, in that one than it did and against this one? I was putting it just tough for it.
No, I think defensively we played an excellent game. Probably one of I wouldn't say our best one, but definitely that's what held us in the game the whole first half, and because we were not shooting the ball well. We've been shooting the ball well the last few games. Our confidence has been high, and and we didn't, but it didn't let them affect them. I was looking at their faces and their body language, and they were just dealing with it. It wasn't pretty, but we have to deal with it, and that's how you win games. You can't. It doesn't matter what you did in non-conference now. I mean, conference season is just a different animal. It's a different animal. It's hard to explain. You got to experience it.
Andriana now flirting with that triple-double today in points, rebounds, and assists, and also picking up a few steals. When William & Mary is bringing those different zones, giving you those different looks in the second half, how did you break things down? How did you break down their defense and figure out what you had to do?
Well, my coaches give me a lot of confidence, and they tell me to keep pushing the ball and keep attacking it. And whatever they give you, that's what you have. And the way they were playing Tay made it really difficult for me tonight to get the ball into her. But I had great teammates who were open on the wings and stuff. So being able to attack different zones is kind of fun doing it, because after playing in like one defensive set, after breaking it, I get down on myself sometimes, and I have great teammates that always pick me up. So that's how I like it. I actually like it.
Well, and she calls a lot of calls too. We'll be looking at each other, and she's like, or coach, with this, we can break it right here. I can do this, even for, So she has a lot of that freedom. Sometimes we have to, when I need something specifically, but generally she has a lot of freedom, to see, and they made it tough for us, and we knew they were. We knew they were going to put the house on Tay, and hit a few of those shots early. We probably had a little breathing room earlier, and that's the way it bounces sometimes. So, but yeah, she does a good job of reading the defense. That's one thing she has an edge over, a lot of point guards. Not bad.
Shante, 11 points today. That much closer to Bill-time record. I think it's 21 away from tying it. Is that, the reality sets in that you're that close to getting it. It could be next game. It could be a couple more games. That's something that's ever on your mind, especially when your team is basketball.
It's not on my mind. I mean, it's 21 points, and I have 20 more games, so I'm eventually get it. So no, that's not.
We'd like for it to be over.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, 1 point a game for the next 20 games. I might commit me to a home if that happens. Oh, go ahead, Tay. You have the floor.
I mean, it's always been my goal to lead this school as leading scorer and rebounder. So when I get it, I'll be happy. But right now, at the pace, triple team, double team with William & Mary, which is nothing new. It's my 4th year dealing with it. And like this game, my teammates had to step up, and they did.
And now Candace, Shante, 4 years against William & Mary. You've seen Emily Carell every single year. How have you seen her game evolve, and what have you guys been doing against William & Mary, knowing it's a close game every time? How do you lead your teammates in that manner?
Going to game, come and playing with William & Mary, you stand out, you look at 30, and then you look at 5. Those are the main scorers. Emily, it's our 4th year playing against each other. She's long, and she uses her whole width, to post up, so that's definitely a challenge. And then number 30 can just shoot the heck out of the ball. So, going into game plan was to stop those two.
I mean, she gets better and better every year, just like all of us do. So, it's always a challenge with I'm sorry. Hey there, you got it. Playing William & Mary, it's always a close game. What was it last year? 99 to 100?
97 to 100.
97 to 100, something like that. So.
Big difference.
Yeah, just like we get better every year, those players get better every year. So it's always a challenge.
Coach, take me through your mindset with Alma, because you were on the court yelling at the refs for that flagrant foul. Did you see a push in the back?
The girl just was aggressively, not controlling her body and just, kind of ambushed her. I didn't see a swing, but, there were some hard fouls early. That was their tone, to set those, and that, you can get these guys ready all the time. After the game I was telling Dre, it was like, what else can I say to tell you to be ready for the pushes? I mean, we played so many non-conference teams that really pushed us, that really, put a hurting on us, that we had to learn how to play through, and we had gotten tougher in practice and using the pad for everything. So I just think, you're glad you got a win, and this can speak volumes more than me just keep saying it, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, there were hard fouls. They're going to set a tone that they're not intimidated by us, and those are the things that we have to know how to play through, and I thought we did. We got to execute a little bit better down the stretch. We got a little stagnant even down to the last play after the timeout, and we have been in tight games early, and then had a run, without that. But they fouled us hard. They were playing hard. I wanted them to. We had to keep our cool too when that was happening. I mean, so.
Because it seemed like though that after that play, after the timeout,
yeah,
it lit a fire in
your
team, because Annie hit 2 threes,
yep.
and then the rest of the team was all up and ready to go. What did you say in the huddle of the match?
Yeah, well, I mean, Annie's my emotional player that I have to, I always say if Tay is definitely a lot calmer than me. I was a little bit more emotional when I played, and I guess that's good for her, because she could put a hurting on people if she was more emotional. But Annie does have that emotional, drives that emotional bus, and she gets motivated and wants to protect her teammates, and these guys know that I want to protect them too, and so it rallied us. We gotten the little things in the game, sometimes rally us, but we also were talking every one of those timeouts before that though, like these next 4 minutes, this is our time to separate, and and we did separate, and then we let them creep right back in, which, we've got to get better at that. That'll be a good film to see. I mean, we separated. That was actually what I had said to them before we got to that point, was let's separate. I think it was the 8-minute media. I said, okay, by the time we get back to that 4-minute media, we're going to separate, and we did do that. And then there's some bad luck there, and a couple missed assignments here and there, and so, all I can say is that I knew this was going to be a battle today. I knew, and I love the fact that they never believed they couldn't win today. I think that was the difference, even when it was, some poor execution and some missed shots, and they kept playing defense, and they really believed they were going to win. I can't say we were there a few weeks ago with that. So now we've got to build on this and keep moving forward, because it's going to keep getting tougher.
Ken, the 6 steals on the game, you guys played tenacious defense throughout. Talk about the plan defensively and how you executed it.
Actually, I was supposed to start out on 30, and then Annie came in. It was a big help. So me playing off, not on the shooter, it makes it easier for me to get my hand, because when I'm playing a shooter, I can't dig off. And the whole team just talking, like telling me where to be. That's why I get most of my steals, because the team talks to me, tell me where to be. It pushes me sometimes if I'm not in the right place. Believe me, it's not me. It's not me.
Shante, now 4-game winning streak. How are you guys going to keep up the momentum in the conference play?
Continue getting better. Going back to practice, get back ready for our next game, which is Georgia. Yep, Georgia State.
Just because they don't know, because the most important game is always the next game.
Yes. So now this game's over with. Now I got to move on to the next one.
Coach, the free throw shooting was so good the other day, a little tougher today. What do you do? How do you address that?
I would like to have that answer as the one right here putting her head down. I mean, there's days that like the day we had great free throw in the last game, we were not shooting very well in practice, and this week we've been shooting better in practice with free throws, and so I mean, come on, we know what it is. We just got to get over this hurdle. I told them to quit looking at the scoreboard. Don't worry about, and it's pressure, and it's people being in this position to play. Some of the people on the floor today was their first a lot of minutes playing conference. So these are the things that that I know goes on because I was a player, and making shots under pressure, relying on your muscle memory, getting the squirrels out of your head, and stuff like that, So we got some marbles for them in case they lose the marbles. They lose their marbles, so we got some marbles in the locker room. So we have a contingency plan for everything. So it's that I shoot free throws every day. We do we do more things than shooting free throws than I ever have before. I gotten some drills from Pat Summit and some things that I never did as a player, and pressure free throws. So we just gotta every game we win, then we're gonna make them the next game, and just focus on that, because there's not a secret. There's not a secret recipe, especially with this group.